Well, hello everyone. My name is Rick Passek, FlyFish Fanatic, and welcome to my tying bench. Today we're going to be tying a little, it was an experimental fly that I was experimenting with for, probably over a decade now. And just changing materials as I could find them, and changing styles and adding stuff and removing stuff. And so it's taken me on and off it probably took me about 5 years until I got one that I really liked and that I knew worked well in the lakes of the interior of BC. They're probably going to be working pretty well anywhere, but yeah, it's just a nice little experimental. It's kind of a Cary, but with a twist. So let's get her going. Great, by the way, great searching pattern, and for those that aren't great casters and stuff, great trolling. Really, this is a pattern that I've had a couple of my buddies that aren't good casters use and troll around and stuff at like Roche and Tunqua and stuff, and they've just killed with it. So here we go. So that's what we're going to be tying. Alrighty. So that's one version. You see how I've got just a little bit of a red butt with the thread. Another version is pretty well the same thing, a little sparser with a beaded red butt. And then I do them also in this with the clear glass beads instead. Okay, so those are I do them in several others, but today what we'll be tying is this. I also do tie them with jungle cock eyes, and today I'm going to try and see how it looks with these Semperfli synthetic jungle cock eyes. I really like these for like chironomids and stuff that you're going to be coating. Not the biggest fan of them on flies that you don't coat, but let's see what it looks like with this and go from there. Alright, so another mini experiment while we're doing it. So we'll start off with a Hends BL724 in a size 10. Use any size 8, 10, 12 streamer hook that you've got. Now, there is one thing that I like doing sometimes is I'll use some hollow tinsel. First, coat the hook. This one here has the hollow tinsel underneath. This one does not. But the thing is, these beads have kind of that silver lining in the inside, so I found it's just an extra step that you don't really have to do. So I'm not gonna today. So easy enough, easy peasy. Just gonna get my little glass beads. These are just little glass beads from the hobby shop. I got them from Michael's, and I'm just gonna slide them on. There's some of these are pretty weird shaped, and some of them are too big to get around the corner of the hook. So if they're like really weird shaped, don't use them. If they're too big to get around the corner, don't use them because you can't use them. So and I usually put about 4 of them on. It depends, like that one there, I can't get around the corner. Depends on the size of the bead. So I'm just sliding them on and just get them right. And this is a barbless hook, so the barbed hooks you absolutely have to pinch the barb. You'll never get them on if you don't. So I take a look at that, and then I'm going to slide it back to about there. That's where I want my my hackle to be. I don't want my tail, my body to go much past where the barb would be, so that's where I'm going to stop with 4. Okay, sometimes I can get 5. It depends how wide the beads are, right? So now I'm just going to put this on a bit of an angle like that. Then I'm going to take my Semperfli NanoSilk. In this case, I like the lime green because of the head that it creates at the end. So actually, no, I'm going to do the red butt on this one. So this is going to be the Semperfli NanoSilk in red. I think this one is actually, they call it, yeah, this one is red. So now I'm going to just start my NanoSilk just back here. Just go back a bit. Stop. Cut off my thread. And then I'm going to take the beads. Yeah, I don't want to go that far back. I only want to be about there, so my stop is going to be right about there. So I'm just going to build up a stopper. Just building up a little bit of a bump, and at the same time it's going to end up being a little red hot spot, right? So just flatten my thread. back up right about there. I'm going to take the one bead that can still go past, so to build it up a bit more. Really push, still just a tiny bit right up against there. So now it's tight in there, so now I'm just going to go right up against it. And then just go back a bit. Like I said, just building up just a little bit of a red hot spot. This is not absolutely necessary, but I just like having them. It gives the fish a bit of a target, right? So then I'm going to go right up against the bead again. My whip finisher. And whip finish. Nice and tight. Just going to take a drop. You can move this forward now. Just a little drop of UV resin. Just a little bit. More than anything, it's to protect that back end and to kind of highlight the red. So, just going to... I forgot to actually turn my light on here today. See if that'll work. If that'll make it any better for you guys. So I don't want to get it too much underneath there because I don't want to build up any more bulk, but like back this way. I'll get a little bit down there, but just put that on to about there, and then hit it with my UV light. That'll help kind of lock it in as well. That last bead, because I've got UV resin up against it. Now, if you want to, you could coat the all the beads as well. Just put a little coating all the way across. That's up to you if you want to do that. I've tied a couple of. This is an all bead bloodworm, right? So that's all beads with just a coating on it. But that one I used the thick Gulf, and I don't like how it turned out, so I'll use the thin one next time. But so now I just bring it back up here. Okay. Now I'm going to take my green thread and start it right behind. I could have come forward just a little bit by the looks of it. I would like to have had the bead right about where the thread is now, but it'll be fine because I can build just a little bit. If I'm putting these jungle cock eyes on anyway, I need a little bit of extra room. Not a ton, but a little bit. So now I'm going to come right back up against the bead. I'm going to grab a Mallard flank in olive, which I've already got here, and I'm just going to take the fluff off the back end, and it depends on how thick of a wing you want, to how much you peel off. Like I would peel off more of this if I want a less sparse of a wing. Then separate it out, expose that tip. Tie it in by the tip, right up against that bead. You want to be right up against the bead there, where your tie-in point is. Then I like just taking this, folding back the tie-in point, and I just leave it because it'll act as part of the wing, right? You can cut it off if you want. I like just leaving them. Depends. Then make sure all this is stroked back. This has got a natural curve from the package. I actually got to steam this package because it's got too much of a curve for some flies. So just keep stroking all your material back. Wrap one in front of the other. One in front of the other. And one in front of the other. Until you've used as much of the feather up as you want to use up. I'm going to use the whole thing. And then just lock it in from behind. 1, 2, 3. Let go, stroke back the center, and just lock that in. Build a bit of a head, just a bit at this point. You don't want too much because you're gonna, like I said, I want to put those jungle cock eyes on. Now I don't have to. I'll show you guys what this looks like without. So now I would take my, of course it goes out of focus. Now I would take my brush. And I would just give it a bit of a brush out just to get those fibers separated from each other. And that's your final, that's it. That's the final fly if you want to just leave it like that. And then when that gets wet and stuff, it just straight goes like that, and you can, yeah, that, you know what? Remember I mentioned at the beginning, you can remove or not. I am going to remove it because it wants to stick out. I don't like that, so I'm just going to pop that off. There we go. So, okay, but now in this case, I'm going to try an experiment, see what it looks like with the jungle cockeye, these artificial ones. So they're on a little sheet, and you just peel them off, right? So that's what it looks like once you've peeled them off. And then you just pick your length. I'm going to go with about like that there, just behind the first white. And then just give her a hold. Couple of wraps, see what it looks like. Not too bad actually. Then I'll get another one off. You need a good sharp pin to get these things off, unless you've got good nails, but second one. And again, you can see there's that gives you a bit of a target. You see the white, so I tied it in at the back of the white, right? So that gives me a target of, so I have roughly the same length on both sides, the back of the white, and I want it going kind of on an angle with the wing on these type of streamers. So there we go. Tied that in. I'll just nip these off. 1, 2. Like I said, I really like these synthetic jungle cocks for flies that you're going to coat. They look awesome. Some of the other flies, like the steelhead patterns and stuff that I use jungle cock on, I rather use the natural, just because of the movement and so on. Right? Just have a bit better movement. So now, if you're going to tie on jungle cockeyes, natural or synthetic, it's up to you what you want to do, but I wanted to show you guys kind of both. But if you're going to do jungle cockeyes or anything like that in the front, don't put the hot spot on the back. 2 hot spots kind of, it doesn't really work that well. So, alrighty. So there it is. There is your, I don't know, glass bead Cary, let's call it. Just moving that jungle cock eye down a bit. But yeah, there's your glass bead Cary. Like I said, I've been using this for quite a few years on the lakes. Great trolling searching pattern. When you get to a lake that you don't know, I've done really well with this thing, just trolling it around. I'm not the biggest fan of trolling, but I do troll from destination to destination. So if I want to go from one bay to another, I'll troll over to it. I'm not just going to fire up the motor and run over. I'll troll over. Might as well catch the fish or two on the way over. I know 2 years ago, Deb Pascal and I, we were over at Jacko, and we were over in one bay and we wanted to go over another. And we're like, yeah, let's troll over. And I think Deb nailed 3 or 4 on a gomphoss, trolling it on the way over. It was actually a fun afternoon. So, but yeah, so these are fairly simple to tie. Just go to your local bead store or store that has crafts, like the Michaels or a Joann's or whatever, and yeah, just pick these up. You pick them up in many different colors. There's clear, there's green. I got them in a kind of a lighty brown, kind of copper, darker brown. Even have them here somewhere. Oh yeah, in a kind of a mixed variegated colors. I even got them in darker green. So I actually do a small little caddis, a tiny little caddis pattern with this one. Right, so there's so many. I mean, you can actually even orange. I use these for my pumpkin heads as well. So if you can find the ones that have the right shape to them. But alrighty, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Give that one a try. It's like I said, a really good pattern if you're trolling around and stuff, and it works really well. I mean, it works well casting as well, but it's definitely a really good searching pattern. So, okay. If you guys enjoyed that, give her a thumbs up. If you subscribed, thank you very much. If you have not, please consider doing so and spread the word. The closer we get to 2,000 subscribers, the quicker that we'll get this giveaway going. I'm I'm trying to get as much as I can. I want to have a really nice giveaway package for you guys. So, all right, tie lines, everyone.